I am not a perfect man. Greetings and welcome back to Ratchet Clank Rift Apart. I am Mighty Z, and today we have 3 things we need to do. First, I'm going to tell you about a major update to the Let's Play, and we're going to knock out these couple of things we need to do for the Bronze Cup, and the other 2 things we have to do are cool little side things that take a little bit of time, not too long, but don't really fit into the normal story. So we'll knock everything out super snappy. As for updates, I have changed PC settings yet again. I moved everything over to solid state, so you will see that the portals are almost instantaneous, and there will be much less stuttering. So when they jump into the ship, it will be much smoother, there'll be less things, but the bugs that are associated with the PC version are still there. So you'll see a couple glitches every now and then, like the videos won't play for the weapons, or it'll just slow down, and I will deal with that as those happen and make it as smooth as possible for your viewing pleasure. Next thing next, I use another file that every time I change PC settings, I go and do the first part of the game over and over again on another file. And by doing that, I have learned a lot about this game, how to play it, how you should rank things up, and have a much better chokehold on what I'm doing in everything, combat, everything. And that poor Speedle, he died for our glory. This is a VO episode, voiceover, so don't worry. Just gonna go through a few things real quick. One last thing there. Other changes, I will be actually jumping over to my test file to make this the main file for the Let's Play. The reason for that is I did it so many times that I ranked up I upgraded the weapons way more logically, and I found a whole bunch of stuff I didn't find, so I figured why not, let's just jump over to this other file. Most of you won't notice the difference, but if you see some of my levels on my weapons don't make sense or different than you remember, that is why. Other than that, we will jump seamlessly back to where we were up until now in the Let's Play, and everything will be fine. For those of you who don't know, a couple things. Whenever we find new weapons, we'll buy new weapons, they can each level up to level 5. And they get new abilities, like for example, the Negatron laser will shoot and end with a huge hip explosion, which is great. As you upgrade, some of the upgrades from Mrs. Zircom are super useful. Like you'll notice, like when we throw out Mr. Fun Guy later on, we'll throw out 2 at a time, or I say Ms. Fun Guy, and a whole bunch of other things that go from improving damage to ammo to the weapon just being vastly more useful in general. The other thing, when we pick up clothing, like new pieces of armor, those are not just cosmetics. They have little stat buffs, usually, and you don't have to wear the clothing to get those stat buffs. Once you find the clothes, those stat buffs just get added to you cumulatively, so you can wear whatever you want, and it behooves you to find all the clothes to have the best possible stats you can have as the game gets harder, which is super good. So you'll see me rotating between my weapons a lot more as I'm trying to get things to level 5, be discussing that. You'll see me looking for the clothing much harder. And the thing that makes that way easier is the other thing I noticed. A lot of the collectibles, especially the ones for upgrades, are marked on the map, which is really great. So I will focus on the story stuff, and I can scrape for the things I missed on the side. So you don't need to see every little thing. Just know between parts, I will just have more raritanium, more money, and more stuff, because I will always go back and clear out a planet before we move on. Of course, if there's anything noteworthy, I will show it, because it's cool. Anyway, now that all that is out of the way, and we're done with the Bronze Cup, we can move on to the other 2 things we need to do. Good stuff. Also, I'll talk about what the gold bolts and stuff do later.
What's the matter with Trudy?
Oh, hey there, Ribbit. Oh, she's just hungry for Zerbstones. Normally she nabs them from those rock islands up there, but I guess she's too tired to fly today.
Aw, up late partying again? Don't worry, I'll grab them.
Oh, you're a peach. We'll be waiting right here when you get back. Rivet will be back with those big, juicy Zerp stones anytime now.
Okay, so we have 2 pretty big side quests here to do. I mean, I say big, but
Zerpstone.
I knocked them out in like
Trudy needs.
less than an hour each. They're not that bad, which is another reason I love this game. And by the way, I do love this game. The more I play it, the more I just love it. It takes me to my happy place. May not have conveyed that yet, but I will.
To get Trudy here chirping again.
There you go. So for this, we have to help Trudy out by feeding her Zerp stones. And they're scattered all over the place. And as soon as you get a message, return to him immediately.
You know, if you ever wanted to grab some more, I'd consider trading those ranger boots behind me for them. I'll mark your map with all the Zerp stones in the area, just in case you're interested.
If we wish to look now,
so from here,
I bet this speedle would prove quite useful.
They give you a speedle. Super convenient, even though they're scattered all over the place. But more conveniently, the stones are marked on the map, which makes this quest way shorter.
Hey, Ribbit, do you like ranger boots? Because you just earned yourself a pair. Bring those Zerp stones over whenever you got a second.
Will do. Hey, Mort. This whole Zerpstone delivery remind you of anything?
Oh, you mean the first time we met?
Making deliveries for the gelatonium factory so I could save up for my own place. Man, those hours were brutal.
Well, you've come a long way since then, Ribbit. And I've never stopped feeling lucky that we met that day. I'll see you soon.
How long have you known Mort?
Since I was a kid. They're, you know, a little odd, but they're one of the good ones.
So there is a lot of nice banter in this game, some of which you get by walking around, but a lot of it is just by standing or like eavesdropping on people and bad guys, because they'll say hilarious things to talk about stories. Like the Morts have this whole thing, some fiasco with lemonade and limeade that they keep talking about on different planets, which is hilarious. I will catch whatever I can catch, but know that there's infinity of it, so won't get it all.
All those Zerp stones. These ranger boots are all yours. Now Trudy here's got a big appetite, so if you find the rest of the Zerp stones, I'll give you this rhino spy bot too. Oh, what's that you say there, Trudy? You want to help Ribbit find them? Well, you heard her. Just hop on her back when you're ready to go after him.
This is why you want to bring him the Zerp stones as soon as possible, because he will give you things that help you access more stones every time he gives you a reward, including Trudy being able to fly and take you to places that are inaccessible and land on these little perches scattered throughout the world, so that you can get to places that would be impossible or extremely difficult to get to otherwise. Now, I ran around confused trying to get to some of the really, really high up Zerp stones, but for those, you want to wait to the next threshold of stones where you get your next prize. Well, not prize, but eventually Trudy will be able to breathe fire, and that is how you get those. Until then, can't do anything about it.
Missing a lot of crates.
This pocket dimension here kind of reminded me of
I bet I could carve out a path.
some of the trials from Octo expansion in Splatoon 2, if anyone played that. Where you have to shoot the boxes and make the shapes, except now you can fall to your death. Also, the boxes just remind me of Crash Bandicoot in general, this being a PlayStation thing. Really leans that way, especially with the explosive crates. All right.
Anyone out there?
You can listen to him for like quite a while, and he will say some other things.
I'm like trapped outside of space and time with nothing to nosh. My gains are fading.
Now I feel bad for what I did at this part. But it's him or us, you know. Sorry, bro. Also, in this environment, I'm surprised that he fell and didn't float away, but whatever. There we go. I really like the pocket dimensions. They are a little bit challenging, Not too hard, and they're all short and snappy. I would say everything in this game is short and snappy. The game itself is not too long. 100%ing a world doesn't take too long. They mark a lot of the, not everything on the map, but all the stuff you really need is marked on the map. And the worlds are big and vast, but not so big, like it's like too open worldy. After a while, you start getting tired of too many open world games.
Strong enough to breathe fire now. All those Zerb stones made her belly as hot as Mort's party mix. Feel free to let her loose.
Sweet! Now we can finally get the rest of the Zerp stones.
So Rivet kind of gives you a huge hint there that you totally can access all the Zerp stones once Trudy can breathe fire. Now the fire Trudy breathes is freaking awesome. Its range is ridiculous. She locks onto things really easily, and it does a whole ton of damage. So you can use it just as a utility in general, even after this quest is done. For those of you who aren't playing with like a PlayStation 5 controller, you can turn off You can turn off adaptive triggers and change the controller settings to make it more convenient. I have an 8-bit Go controller, so it has analog triggers, so I can kind of do it, but it doesn't have tension to stop halfway down. You just have to feel it out, and that can go wrong in the heat of battle. So I turned adaptive triggers off later in like a couple parts from now, and with that, you hold L2, and it does basically what would be a half trigger press for most of your weapons, which is really great for like the drill hound and stuff. And it lets you play the game much easier. Really snappy. Happy they have that in there.
Holy moly, Rivet! That's all the Zerb stones. Guess I better get that spy bot ready for you. Oh boy!
Woo! Gelatonium Factory, here I come.
By the by, have you noticed anything different about Trudy yet?
Besides her being even more radiant than usual?
She's expecting!
What? Trudy! Congratulations! I can't even! Okay, I am throwing you the biggest baby shower this planet has ever seen.
Trudy is super duper awesome, and I wish we could take her through rifts to other worlds and have fun, though that might break the game in half if you had a flying wyvern dragon wherever you wanted. But it could be cool for a future game.
Now that Trudy's got her... Oh, my Mort! Look at all that Zerp! You earned this spy bot and then some.
How long will it take Trudy to eat everything?
Oh, 5 days, 6 tops. But old Mort will worry about next week. Well, hey there, Rivet. How you going?
Alright, now, once you're done with the side quest, you still totally have access to Trudy. So you can use her to scour the world, or, in my case, kill Grumthors. You got your inner Monster Hunter, your inner Pokemon urges? Free them! Enjoy them! You also get an achievement for it, so it's not my fault. Oh, that felt glorious. And we're done with Trudy and this world for now. And we can move on to the last thing we need to do.
Whoa, can it be? A brother Lombax?
You, know we're not related, right?
Yeah, we are. By our mutual thirst for knowledge. Check this out. A shrine the Lombaxes built ages ago, containing a lorb stuffed with ancient info. But only a Lombax can unlock its secrets. If you could bring me 3 lorbs, I'll hook you up with a sweet piece of armor I dug up.
A Lombax shrine? I'll totally help.
Radical! One last thing. Shrines won't open if there are bad vibes nearby, so if there are, you'll have to clear them out.
Time to give Ratchet a little action before we go. We have to go lorb hunting. But first...
Who is Clank?
Clank. He always has my back, no matter what.
Where is he now?
Helping me stop Nefarious. But we had to split up.
Oh. I am sorry.
Their relationship is so nice. But anyway, the Lorbs are Lombax's lore orbs that contain recordings from Lombaxes of the past.
Nice. Now you should be able to listen to whatever's recorded on it.
And you totally can. If you go into the options, you can go and listen to the Lorbs, and they do have a message kind of specifically for Ratchet and Rivet you should listen to later. They require either exploration, combat, crazy platforming, or all of the above. And you only need 3 to get it started. And like with the other quests, once you reach a threshold, take it back to the quest giver immediately so the quest can be much easier. You guys got in the way of me talking about heritage. I'm sorry.
Brother Lombax, the leg armor is yours if you bring those Lorbs back to me.
So this quest is pretty fun because the platforming is fun, the battle's fun, and it's just fun. It's not too long either. And also there's a lot of good conversations that happened while I was doing the quest about Ratchet and Clank's relationship that I really liked. And weird glitches like that gonna happen sometimes. But anyway.
Did you and Clank come to this dimension together?
Yeah, but he's traveling with someone else now.
A new best friend?
I hope not.
I did not mean he was replacing you.
Right, yeah.
Poor Ratchet. It's really obvious that Clank is insecure about things and self-conscious, but Ratchet is also super the same, and they make a really good team, and they have each other's back and give each other confidence. That's what friendship should be, honestly, and it's really sweet to see. It's not for a lorb or anything, but the armor is sweet to look at and gives us stat upgrades, so we're gonna find all of it. Plus, that was cool and fun. Love these little pockets. Okay. Like I said, once you get 3, you want to head back to the quest giver to grab your armor and make your life a hell of a lot
May I give
easier.
you advice based on the observations of the monks?
Sure, go ahead.
Even if Clank does become this other person's best friend, he will still be yours. Making friends is not like cutting up a pie. There is enough to go around.
I see why Gary made you his apprentice. You're pretty wise.
Thank you.
He is a wise little robot, and a lot of people do forget that about friendship. Even me sometimes. You can share it all. One of my favorite things about this world is that it has the little boost pads, so you can go zipping around all the time. My only complaint is I wish there were more of them all over the place. They're at some places, but not everywhere. That's just a nice way to grab a gold bolt. You can miss that bolt and fly off, by the way, so be careful. Nice and high up to make sure you don't get it through other means, but I'm sure speedrunner will find a way to parkour of Howl's Moving Castle over there and get down to this orb, I mean the bolt, because of course they will. So high. And I refuse to turn off ray tracing, no matter what. I like how it looks on water and stuff. It's so pretty. Other things. I don't know if I talked about it yet, but gold bolts. So far, they've been giving us a lot of nice little goodies and cosmetic things, but nothing really mandatory. They let you change the skins of the colors on your ship, what your weapon looks like, and what money and stuff looks like. So it's not really necessary, but it is cool and funny and kind of nice.
Bring me 4 more lore. I'll give you some chest armor to match those legs. I marked the rest of the shrines on your map. Good luck, brother.
So you see where this quest is going. He's giving you boots, next he's giving you a vest, and of course you'll see what's next. But the good thing is he has marked them all on the map, which is glorious. So you just kind of run down the checklist and do them all. I don't suggest chipping away at them and going and doing other things. I would just stop and just knock this out now because A, the rewards are nice. The earlier up the stat boost, the better. And the Lorbs actually give you a little nice backstory into the whole Lombax crisis. We'll get there in a minute. Another thing I learned in battle is this is not really a run-in guns blazing sort of game. It works far better to like establish a defensive front, hold your ground, and let the enemies come to you, especially because of the numerous weapons you have to defend yourself, fight alongside you, and protect you from enemy damage if you're not like running all over the place. Sometimes the battlefield will be crazy or disintegrating around. You'll have to go all over the place, but you have the hover boots. So you just, keep changing defensive positions. But like right here, set up the fun guy, put up some temporary sprinklers, and they have to run through a wall of death. And later on, in a few parts, this wall of death will truly become just that, and it'll be dang near impossible for them to get anywhere near Ratchet or Rivet. And I look forward to when you guys get to that part. Because that crap is wild. The actual next gen, this is having like 50 things on screen fighting you, and 50 things on screen that are your allies just going at it in front of you. And another Lorb bites the dust. Those shrines look really cool, by the way. They remind me of SWAT cats so hard, if anyone knows what that is.
Within these Lorbs.
For those of you who don't know what SWAT Cats is, it's a show about anthropomorphic cats who fly a jet and fight like Godzilla monsters and defend their town. It had a lot of shadows and it was like kind of like a darker comic book, but it was really cool. It was on Cartoon Network. It was awesome, but I would love to have a modern game like an Ace Combat 5 that was SWAT Cats themed or something. Now, another kind of thing are these chasers. There will be these kind of floaters that will have a Lorb in them, armor, or there's one that has a gold bolt that I find later. Basically, you have to find a way to catch them, either cutting them off or just being fast enough to catch them and then grapple hook onto the back of them, and everything's fine. With this one, I just got in front of it, so it has to turn around, and it turns around so slowly, you can pop right up there, and it's no problem. Other ones will be more difficult based on the terrain you happen to find them in. But they're fun to catch. Another Lorb down. And finally, after you get all those Lorbs and have lots of platforming adventures, this is the last one. It took me a little bit to get it, but I got it. You stop on a dime, by the way, so you have to be careful as you, like, hop around and stuff, but it's all good.
Brother Lombax! Brother Lombax, you found them all! Oh man, come on back to see me. You're gonna flip at this helmet.
And it was convenient that that was the last one because the guy's just right here. And you just go grab the helmet. And it's all good. Just roll up here. The armor you get actually is pretty cool looking in general.
I don't even... You just helped save Lombax's history for generations. My brothers and I, thank you.
It was an honor, brother.
So like I said, with the gold bolts, you can, as you get more, you'll get more stuff. You'll get more songs in the jukebox, more skins for your ship, more characters in the gallery. You can change what your wrench skins look like, your hammer skins look like. You can change them to different weapons, including a hammer, sword, or a swordfish. This is the armor you get for doing that quest. It looks pretty cool. The yellow and black actually looks really good with Kit on your back, because she's kind of gold colored too. and it looks pretty nice.
I hope those Lorbs brought you as much happiness as they did me, Brother Lombax. Because it was a lot.
It did, and I do love that Ratchet accepted him as a brother before they leave. Now, before we go, there are a couple of hidden areas here on Silvally. The broken train here that has a whole bunch of raritanium and a lot of free money. My gold bolts have allowed me to turn on RPG mode, so when I damage enemies, damage numbers come out, which is hilarious and makes me feel comfortable. And I've changed my money to orbs because the orbs make me laugh, and they are very easy to see in dark environments because they glow in the dark and they're around. But there's also coins, not rupees, and cans of, like, sports drink or Monster for some reason called Overcharge. I don't know, maybe you like sports drink, it's what the body craves. I don't know. But I like the orbs. But I'll show them all throughout the playthrough, you'll see them. Yeah! Once you immobilize and keep your enemies from moving, you can tear them apart. And as you're getting all those stat boosts, you will start tearing through these enemies that took you so long. Like, remember me fighting this guy took, like, a while in part 2? Yeah, like, you just tear through him like it's nothing. Also, in your, when you're looking at your weapons in your weapons wheel, you can see what levels they're all at there. So as you're trying to get them to level 5, you can keep a quick look at them to make sure you got what you got. I like to put weapons I need to level up in my shortcuts on the D-pad, so that I keep using them a whole lot, so I get everything leveled up evenly.
This shipment, might as well check it out.
But if a lot of the weapons are redundant and perform literally the same function. So if you want to just focus on a few favorites and level up like a defensive weapon, a close range weapon, and a long range weapon, you are totally free to do that. Get those up to level 5 and max them out with raritanium as quickly as possible. That's totally a good strategy. It works super well. We just hijacked a train. Now, sometimes spy bots will be relegated to a side quest, but sometimes they'll just be hidden in the world in a really hard to find spot. And that is the case on this world. So let's go find it. And the very last thing we do is if we come up here, up in the north kind of centralist region, while I was looking for raritanium, found this little cave back here. And we found a train earlier, and this time we'll find a pirate ship. Cool. And if we go over to the pirate ship, there's something shiny waiting for us. You obviously know what it is. You can see it right there.
All right.
And there we go. Spybot for free, just for exploring. Of course, there's a small ambush, but there's nothing they could possibly do to win this fight, so just have fun leveling up which weapons you need to. But yeah, that's all I want to cover from here. We're on this file now. We'll be going back to normal parts from now on. I promise you it will be more entertaining as I will fight better and I know what I'm doing. And I hope you enjoy this and have a good time. But for now, I'm Mighty Z, and as always, be safe, be well, and goodbye.